so high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome in on this Sunday morning. May it be a glorious one wherever you are. But here in Billings, where we're sitting with FedEx, it's kind of like pretty yucky outside. That is an official meteorological term, yucky. So we're going to take off from here and we're going to fly to O'Hare. Currently having troubles getting a clearance through POSCON, so we may end up just flying offline. We'll kind of see. We're going to get the plane all loaded up and try one more time. If it fails, well, we'll just go offline. So it is what it is. I hope y'all enjoy. Again, FedEx to Billings, Montana to Chicago O'Hare. So pretty good flight ahead, folks. About 2 hours flight time-ish, maybe a little more than, but I think you'll all enjoy. So let's get up into the cockpit here and let's see what kind of damage we can make out here. All right, here we are, folks, and let's bring in Sim Toolkit and pre-flight this real quick, so you all get a flavor of what's happening. Where are we on here? Oh, there we are. So our flight route, as you can see, through Minneapolis and O'Hare territory. So we'll kind of give it our best shot here. Payload for today, 72,320 pounds, putting a zero fuel weight of 270,000 pounds before we throw some go-go juice in it. Now it does show 3 passengers. This is a freighter, so there aren't going to be many tag-alongs. So 71,700 pounds of cargo behind us. You can see the route there: Billings to Pierre to Sioux City to Macon City, Iowa to TEEOO onto the Fight 7 for hopefully not a 22 right arrival, but 10 center. Cost index 80 for today. We're going to start with a cruise at 35,000 and around Pierre, North Dakota. We'll kick it up to 37. Pretty easy flight. We're going to be loading up 38,000, roughly 700 pounds of fuel for it, and it should be just, I mean, we're going to be in some weather, folks, so we'll kind of play it by ear like always. Kind of been our mantra here the last couple of flights. Let's talk about weather. Billings, windy 290 at 17, gusting to 27, trying to get us ready for the windy city. 10 miles of visibility in the overcast sky at 5,000 feet above ground level. Temperature 3 and showers distant northeast. Don't see anything else there. So pretty much a prelude to the windy city. In the windy city, actually it's not as windy as here. We're looking at a 110 wind at 16, 8 miles of visibility, light rains, and the ceiling there 5,500 feet, overcast 8,000. So we are legal to depart, legal to arrive, and 8 degrees above zero, and really that's about all that's special. Except they always think they are special in the windy city. All right, there you go. Get a little bit more overview. You can see this big blob we got to fly into at the windy city. So, we'll see how things turn out. All right, so let's go ahead, close out Sim Toolkit, and let's see, like I said, the damage we can do. Now, there are some things. This is the Flight Factor 767, so there's some things when you buy it, make sure if you want the freighter version. Okay, that's where things get a little fun with this plane. Hang on a second, let me get the right... Sorry folks, just a little on the tired side today. No, we didn't come off work today, but sometimes it feels like I did. All right, so we are flying the 767 from Flight Factor, but we're in the extended version, which gives you the 200, 300 ER, and the 300 freighter. And then we also purchased the liveries and all. But anyway, so that's what you're going to want if you want the 767 freighter. Now, why do I say it the way I just did? Real quick, let's take a look on the outside. If all you want is what a normal passenger liner gives you, which is that, great. Get the El Cheapo as I... If you want to have the cargo, which means opening... Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. I guess they call that batting 1,000 today. But anyway, you get the opening cargo door and all of this, then you got to upgrade. Otherwise, you're just going to fly a passenger plane, which is fine. I mean, 767's one of the, it's been around a pretty decent amount of time since the 80s, so. I actually got a chance to fly on it for 2 hours. Not fly it, fly on it from Newark to St. Louis. Nice airplane indeed. It's the only time, but still. All right, so with that in mind, here's that little quirk. We're going to go ahead and start loading. Okay, as you can see, you have an EFB. Now you can get it through here or right by the pilot's knee. It's right here, this tablet. Same thing, exact identical will open up. Go to Ops, Ground. All right, in order to load this aircraft, you need to make sure stairs, LSU. You don't really have to have the GPU, but I recommend turning it on. You do have to have the fuel truck, and you do have to have the loader, and you have to go to what I call page 2 and open the doors. Okay, once you've done that, then you come back to ground, and then you can load it. Now, this is where it gets tricky. First off, before we get to the tricky part, click Maintenance. Maintenance has been performed. Okay. Now, remember our cargo load. If you don't, hang on a second. I bring charts in because yes, you can get your flight plan from here. All right, well, you get it in this format, but if I can remember right, and it looks like I'm not going to very easily. Okay, here we go. Payload, 72,300 pounds. Okay, very simple. So, take that number, divide it by each pallet in this plane will be 9,800 pounds. You cannot put more on it. You cannot put less on it. Okay, get that number first, and I'll let you know how many pallets it is here real quick. There we go. All right, now the reason I zero these out, this is going to show you the zero fuel weight for the aircraft, no cargo on it. So this can't confuse you now. All right, so once you've decided that, how about divided that by 9,800? You are going to come up with a figure that's going to want, okay, now I know I wrote it down. Oh, here it is. 7 pallets. Remember, each pallet's 9,800 pounds. It's very critical on this plane. Because if you think you're putting the weight of each pallet by cargo weight, oh, you're way off. Way off. Now, take a look at your zero fuel weight. Okay? We are looking to get to 270,300-ish pounds. Okay. Hang on a second. No, not that one. Just getting another window opened here. We're actually, yeah, that's what we're shooting for. So, here's what we'll do now. Take the estimated zero fuel weight that you came up with from SimBrief. 270,320. Subtract what you have in the zero fuel weight right now. I know you're all going, Mike, this is supposed to be the weekend we don't do work. On this plane you got to work a little bit. It's going to come up to 3,760 pounds. That's where you put it there to get yourself to that, oh, maybe 3,720. Enter. Now look at our zero fuel weight. Boom. That's how you load this plane. A little complicated, but once you do it a couple times, folks, it's a piece of cake. So, and then once you have this, well, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and throw our fuel on real quick, which isn't much. 3.8. Hang on a second. 721. I'm going to go a little heavier than what we're showing. 3.8721. All right, so that's going to bring us, there's our gross, and now this little item right here, optimize CG, click it, and that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to position it so the CG is at the so-called sweet spot in the plane so you can fly legally. All right, and then here's the toughest, I mean, this is the most confusing part of this plane. Click load, unload. So yeah, we're loading the plane. You'll hear it in the background, folks. That's how you'll know it's done. And there is another way. Come up here. When your fuel, right here, total quantity equals 38.7, and you don't hear noise, you're done loading. So They made that part easy. The rest of it, like I said, it's a little confusing, but it can get really easily overcome. Fly it a couple times and it's like second nature to you. Okay, getting rid of charts for now. All right, so let's get in here and start getting these checklists going. And that may actually be too loud. I don't know what the heck I just did there, folks. I think we just saw the secret codes for how to launch the nuclear missiles. There we go. All right. So we have done basically the first thing in our checklist here. The last thing we have is the closing of the doors and removing all of the stuff. And at the same time, if we want, we could go into better pushback and plan our pushback. But again, let's take a look at where we're parked here in Billings. I don't really think we need to. We could actually pull forward, swing it, and head for 28 right. I think that's actually how they do it here. So, hope that was easy, understandable. Y'all got it. And if not, you know, you can always send me a message. I'll be glad to help walk you through it. So, all right, folks, again, I am flying for FedEx. If you hit that exclamation mark FedEx like I'm about to do, it will key you over, well, let you know the website of the airline I'm flying with today. Great bunch of people, great, just a great site. I've been with them better part of 5 to 6 years, maybe longer. I've just had a great time here. They are very easy going. There's just a couple little hoops that they would like you to make sure you can do before joining, and that is be able to fly the aircraft. We don't have a training division. So just be sure you can fly them and land them without, you know, going over the limits they have. But like I say with every VA, folks, check them out before you sign up to them. And make sure you can make the requirements and you feel comfortable with them. If you don't, hey folks, you're not going to hurt my feeling or their feelings. They'd rather you, if you don't think you can, to not join. But if you think you can muster up, then it's not a very complicated airline. Give them a try, folks. They're really great. Great Discord channel, great ACARS system. Works off of FS ACARS 2, 3, whatever they did. Probably said it wrong, and I'm going to feel the wrath of the IT department. My airplane probably won't start. No. But, you know, folks, great bunch. Give them a try. If you just hit the exclamation mark FedEx in the chat box, it'll give you the website for you to check out. Head over there and see what you think. All right. Yes, I have to plug them because they are that good. Okay, so obviously the battery's on. Obviously we're on ground power. So let me show you the few other steps up here. Okay, so you got to turn your bus ties on, folks. This is not an Airbus where it's pretty well done for you, which is great. Batteries or bus ties are on. Utility bus is on. Now, another little tricky part that got me a couple times, okay, when I first started flying. I can't remember exactly what made me think about it, but for some reason it just, it wasn't completely connected in for some reason. And I went in, lifted these windows, clicked gender disconnects for left and right engine. And you know what that actually does? It actually disconnects the generators from the engines. You got to shut them down, perform maintenance before you can turn them back on. So, don't do that. Instead, go here where you see off on both sides. That's what you want to click. You want to see on. So once the engine comes on, the Gen Connect connects in. If you run into troubles, look here or here for the troubles you're having. I'll warn you ahead of time. Okay, and then the emergency light switch is here and it's off. We don't want those. Let's go ahead, get our IRS system aligning. Okay, we got our on bats. We're just waiting for them to say align. There they go. And then I want you to move them to nav. And what that'll do is when the system in 7 minutes, that's why I went to status or heading, sorry, HDG, will align and it'll align immediately. So long as you've done the steps below. All right, real quick, panels and lights are good. Lights are set here. I've got position lights and logo lights on. We should be good to go. I've got the landing altitude already set in, so let's head down and start in on that infamous FMC. Okay, click FMC, double check your AirNAC, make sure you're valid, which we are until the 18th of this month. Everything else checks good. This gives you, I believe, the current model. Bear with me a second. I'm going to check their Discord site. I think it is. They're not far out, folks, from release. Well, I shouldn't say that because I may be way overstretching myself. Yeah, the model version here matches the version that your latest downloaded version of it. So, but the 777 is soon to come. When, we all do not know. And of course, don't ask because they won't tell. They kind of adopted that government policy. And that's, hey, that's perfect. I'm all for that. All right, let me stop that for now. All right, so let's push on, shall we? So with us verifying all of this, click POSIT, put in your airport, KBIL. Okay, you could put the gate in. I normally don't. And a lot of times you'll see me go to the next page, I'm just going to use this one. And then we'll go to route, kick it in. We're going to KO. O'Hare International. And hang on a second. Let me check. I actually got the flight. I mean, it's not a difficult. Wrong one. Oh, where are you? There you are. There you are. Billings ORD 01. Okay. KBIL RD 0. Company route. Loaded. Before clicking activate, I always check, folks. Okay. Let us bring back into play here charts. It doesn't take out all the screen almost on my setup, what I've done to set up here. So we'll take a look at this route real quick. Bounce up, there it is. So we're going Billings, PIR, which I think is Pierre, Sioux City, then we're on the J16 to MCW. I think those are all on it. Yeah, I know. Y'all love the words I think. Doing a quick check here just to be safe. KORD. And what was the question of the moment? Okay, and there. All right, and going to the high one, FSD. Okay, so we have Haynes, ONTLI, next page MCW, and TEEOO, and then we get on to our arrivals. All right, that's pretty good. We're departing. Hang on a second, let me get something out of my way here. And for the heck of it, let's try. Still saying flight plan not held, so we may be flying offline. Pain in the rump sometimes. All right, so we're going off to a right. So we got a 10,518 foot runway, 282 degrees, folks. So basically we'll just come out and follow Alpha to go. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, back to route. We'll go ahead and activate. Execute. Legs. We're going pretty much, well, let's do it this way because I just want to, can I, oh, I know why. I did get the runway, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's our routing. Let's do the arrival, which will be Index O'Hare. Fight. PO 10 Charlie. Do I want to come into Gibbons? No. All right, we'll explain this here momentarily. Let me just look up top here real quick. 2 to go. All right. Okay, so you can see our routing here, folks. Oh, that's why it's doing it. It's a straight shot. Okay. That would make sense now. I'm trying to figure out why in the heck is it doing that? Okay, real quick. You can see our routing here. We can, well, we're going to go ahead and hopefully be able to do this right here. Okay. Gotta love it when it fights every step of the way. And I figured it would do that. Doggone it. All right, well, that's more important, so hang on. There we go. All right, so let's step through here and make sure we have no real big problems. So from Billings to PIR to FSD to Haynes to ONTIJ to MCW to TEEOO. All right, so we're looking good there. Here's where we're going to get into some trouble seeing. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully y'all can make it out. I apologize, but it is what it is. All right, so we're going to be coming in at TEEOO, whatever they call it. So we're going to fly TEEOO Fight 7. So we're going to be looking for Mite, Mihawk, Stenley, Cup, Champion. I think I see a pattern there, folks. Could I be wrong? Just in Chicago way, doesn't know how to spell. Oh, but anyway, did I say that from the southern part of the state of Chicago? Then we go to Closby and then Fight. All right. Now, here's where things are going to get a little interesting. And it looks like, yep, we're going to have to make a change. And I'll show you that right now. Okay, so from Fight, let's kind of zoom in here. We got motor, cogs, Maddie. Now, why am I holding here? Well, landing east, which is what we're intending to do. 10 center, final approach course after Maddie. Even though this one says this is where we do it. We're not flying all the way out there to turn around to fly all the way back. Now, I know why they do that, to help stagger in traffic. There isn't going to be much traffic on this run, so we're going to kick Sulu, Kirk, and Vulcan. Really? We're going with... oh my gosh. So, we are going to run Ruda, which starts the 10 center approach. See, it's even telling us, and that, oh, I know why. There's a reason for that. We're not doing that approach. All right, so we'll come down to, where is Ruba? There it is, Ruda. I'm actually going to kind of angle us back to here so we have time to get up there. Because Ruda is 10 miles out. And we're going to be in the soup at that point, folks. So, let's do this. We'll do Ruda to here. Execute. So, when we hit Maddie, we turn for Ruda. I might change that course a little. Like I said, I may head to Peepaw or Sharn, then on, just to give us some wiggle room to get established, and then we can start the speed reductions. And then we've got Ruda and then Ray. Ray will be our initial, where we got to be at 2,300 feet, which is 1,630 feet above the ground. So everything, well, let me just step through to make sure, Maddie, Ruda, see how it's going to play out, and then right in. Then we head out to CGT to hold, if we have to do a miss. That's all we're doing, folks. Nothing really outrageous there. And it all aligned. Hang on a second, folks. Had to intercept my wife and granddaughter from possibly going out into the rain, because so sorry about that, folks. All right, so there you have it, a little bit of the arrival brief, away it goes. Okay, so next up's the perf int page. Again, we have a little something to help us here. First off, let's click for our zero fuel weight, 270 at 3. Our reserve. Now we'll bring charts back in. We'll go back to, I'm sorry, cancel. Oh, forgot to put my runway in. Oops. Final. There we go. Yeah, it's all screwy looking here. That's fine. Okay, Now let's get back out to where we are. Click in Sim Toolkit. Now let me show you. Now this one I can actually show you how I come up with my reserves. What I do, folks, and if you use the LIDO, which is the default Sim Brief operational flight plan OFP format, instead of like American, United, Lufthansa, JetBlue, I mean, they have a bunch, Southwest, and so forth. If you just stay with the default, it will actually give you the numbers without having to go to a lot of mathematics. Because I already know some of you complained I've already done too much math. So, real simple here. Now, what I do is I just simply take what it takes to get to my alternate and what my reserve is. So in this case, we're looking at 8.3 plus 6.0, 14.0, plus 1.1, I'm sorry, 14.3 plus our 1.1 puts us up to 14.4. That's how I'm going to do it, folks. Final reserve plus alternate, 14,424 pounds. Right here, folks, under FMC info. 14.4. Sorry, it's not as sophisticated as Zebo or Tolus, but hey, I like sometimes doing the hard work. And our initial cruise, let me just get down to the ATC flight plan, which I think I passed. Been so long since I used this. Oh, that I can't even remember where it hides. The heck is it hiding? Last place I'd think, right after there it is. Okay, so 35,000. Cost index. Eve, we're 80. And I know that's in here somewhere and I can't. Oh, yeah, right here. Duh. 80. Like I said, folks, I usually use American or United for my formats. I like seeing how the real airlines do it. All right, and then for the wins, 250 at 3-1. And the at is done with the slash, 3-1. Put that there. ICAO will go 2,000. Doesn't mean you have to step climb, folks. It just is going to give you what's recommended by the onboard avionics. Till you get up in the atmosphere, the avionics can't do a lot. Dispatch can only tell you right now, not what's coming. So they can only give you weather forecasters' best guess. And we all hope that's a good guess. Next up, let's go to the takeoff page. Okay, there's 2 pages to this, folks. And I'm going to bring in TopCat for this. Okay, this is a piece of payware, and I don't even know how much it costs anymore, but once you have your aircraft in here, you've loaded it up like you see I've done here. I've got the freighter version. You can press on to takeoff. 28 right. There's the particulars for the runway. We're updating the weather. Currently, just to let you know, it's 290, 16 gusts to 26. 10 miles of visibility and light rain, overcast at 3,300 feet above the ground. And I'll explain that one real quick because this is a good one. And the altimeter 2989. Now you saw a lot of that there's an actual pop-up window that for some reason does not pop up for you all. So 2989, there's our temp, there's our wins. Now, if you had MELs, good. I don't even know if we can. These are, if any of these are done and you check them, it would potentially change your takeoff distances. If you're on a shortened runway, my airport I work at had one for a couple of months. You could put that in there. So it really helps give you some pretty decent numbers. So make sure your gross weight's pretty close, and here we go. So right now, I got a wet runway. Hang on a second. Let's redo that. Okay, so you can see that altered it slightly, actually quite a bit. We lost 600 feet of runway at the end. Okay, so now it wants us to take off. Flaps 5. The best setting here is 53 degrees that we'll put in right here. Takeoff is our setting. Let's go ahead and click CG real quick. And then we'll be ready to go. But let's go to page 2. Now, one thing with this plane, you cannot set it up for a wet runway other than to change the change the V1 speed. That's all. It won't automatically do it like the other aircraft because it doesn't have that option in. Hopefully they may be able to bring that in. I don't know the programming complexities to get that to happen. So here all you got to do is put in your winds. Now you can put your slope in. You see the format here, folks? Simply follow it. However, if it was a negative number, make that U a D as in delta. So we go U 0.9, and all you've done is just refined it just a little bit, and it does help to more realistically show your takeoff. And then click next page. We're back where we started. So if we put in 53, flaps 5, keep it at here, we could get numbers that should be very close to what we're seeing here. So let's try it, shall we? 53. Flaps 5. Doink. And let's turn our reference speeds on. And look at this, we're pretty close now. 135, 142, 150. You know what? Let's just go with them. You know, why not? They're pretty close. This is good adjustment for the wet runway. And yeah, I'm going to go with it. But again, we'll use this again, folks, Top Cat, on landing. So, I'm sorry, in our approach. So, it just gives us numbers to work with, even though the FMC kind of. We can verify. Again, remember, when you send the data off to dispatch, they're not right where you are. They're going off, you know, the METARs. All right, folks, so we've got the FMC all programmed. Final checks, and we're going to get this cigar going. Let's see here. We are definitely loaded. 38.7. So I'm just going to quickly... All right, fuel truck can go, loader can go, LSUs can go. We'll keep the GPU in that and go to ops, airplane, and start buttoning up. All right, so what did we change out here? Well, until we turn the APU on, GPU, and I'm going to keep the air conditioner hooked in so, you know, we in the cockpit at least are comfortable like we're supposed to be. All right. So we're going to head up to the top here and go yaw dampers. We can turn on. I keep them off. We'll show you why here in a minute. Do want to reset this to where it should be. Okay, our electric, or first off, electric engine controls are in normal. Our electric hydraulic pumps, the C system, is on. And our demand switches in auto. Engine start set to both. I actually set it to the left side. What I do on even days, the even number, odd day, the odd number. Pretty tough to figure that one out, isn't it, folks? Passenger signs, now we'll go with them on. Got to keep that cargo in line back there, folks. Landing altitude and pressure system set. Landing altitude technically should be here in case we have to return. I've got it set for O'Hare. And we're, again, odd day, even day. Equipment cooling is set to auto. Lights are still set. Everything looks good here on our panel. Left and rights are on. Trim air on. Forward, mid, aft, auto. And the cabin temp, auto. What do you say we start the APU? I wait to which one turns off. I always forget which one. And we're just waiting. We can actually come down here and watch it. And while we're waiting, let's just go ahead, put this one on legs. And we're ready to go. Just a couple more things to do and the plane is ready to fire up. We just got to get rid of the stairs, close the door, and fire up. Pull away and take off. But again, welcome to Flying with Mike, a special day, Sunday. Thought we'd just go up for a flight. It's been a hellacious week, and I'm not really anticipating any different tomorrow and this week. So it is what it is, folks. Okay, APU fired up. All right. With that, we can now bring the APU in on the bus and off with the external power. I'm also going to turn on the APU bleed as well as all of our isolation switches. I always cover like wherever the covers are, I keep them down because I have this habit where I might accidentally lay the mouse, say like right here, worst case scenario, say here, and disconnect the jet. So I keep those covers down because that means it's got to take at least 2 clicks to have that happen, which I've probably done once or twice in many years. But anyway, so the isolation, the external power is off. Now let's get this thing all wrapped up, shall we? I'm going to go outside and let us see it all. APU's running. Okay, so you can see the chocks, pretty rudimentary, but hey, chocks nonetheless. Come back up to plugins, go to ground. There's your ground unit, there's your air conditioner, LSUs, you saw them earlier. So, we'll, let me just do this first ground. Airplane, sorry, and I just clicked close all. That clicking you hear, folks, that's the fans turning in the engines. Okay, we're off GPU, we're off ACU, we don't need the stairs, and you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pull chocks, and Make sure the plane does not start moving. It has to be in some places because somehow the parking brake got not set. Parking brake is double checked. Radars are off. All right, here we go, folks. Try last time for POSCON. Last call. If it doesn't work, oh well. Maybe. Why is it saying 1753? It is nowhere near that. Okay, let me do something here. Just hang on. Okay. Giving it 6 online flights all at once. Okay. Hey, it's working now. 6073. Threatened it, that's why. I forgot to write it down. Hang on a second. Where 6073. Okay, we are now up and running. Get my CTAF channel real quick. All right, for here, either 122.95 or the CTAF channel, which will be tower. Let me just check here real quick, folks. Go ahead, close that. All right, tower frequency here, 1272. Okay, we are good and ready to go. Give me a second there. All right, final checks. All doors should be closed. Let's look outside, verify. All doors and chocks are gone. Ground equipment's removed, left and right pack. All right, we are ready to fire up, folks. ACARS system. That I read my checklist. I forgot to start that. And my final check, folks. And if you are with FedEx Express Virtual, make sure you see when you get yourself online with the ACARS before you move that aircraft so that your flight plan won't get rejected. Go to the website. First off, make sure you filed a flight, you've booked a flight. But two, click where it says in flight. Right click, click it so you have an open and a separate window, and make sure that aircraft says the aircraft you're in. If it is blank, they will reject it. I can't blame them because they have no idea what you flew. So make sure where it says aircraft, um, it it's visible with an aircraft that's suitable for the flight. And pretty much that's where it's pretty lax, folks. All right, we're ready to go. Some final checks here. Hey, flight director. Speed, we're looking at 150, so we'll do 60. And our runway is 282. And we're going to go right up to 35. Unfortunately, there is no fast way. If they're off, we're ready to start it up. All right, here we go, folks. Again, what is required here to start? Packs off. Make sure you have plenty of air in here. That's why you do it. So you got to click on your APU bleed so it filters that in there. Turn your fuel pumps on, even though I think it'll start without them. Of course, oops, put your beacons on, and you're ready to go, folks. Very simple process. Let's start up number 2. Okay, coming down. Now I'm going to blow this up. Here's your fuel switches. Here's your throttle. When the needle passes the magenta line, just simply click on it. And there she goes, firing up. Yes, very accelerated. Yeah, they don't start up this fast, folks. Hawker 125 in with the pizzas, the hand claps. Welcome aboard, sir. I was hoping you'd show, but I know you're a busy man in the aviation world. Okay, engine 1 or 2 fired up. Let's get number uno. And again, I'm just going to leave it here. We're looking to get past the magenta line, and then we'll start. There we go. Fuel on. Comes the engine. Okay, parking brake set. Tow vehicles away, left and right. Go, we got to go up top. Left and right. Engines on. Again, kind of. I'll show you here in a second why the yaw damper stays off. Anti-ice, we're going to go ahead and run with some. Let's go ahead and turn them all on. There is no de-ice feature with this aircraft, folks. So, it's basically the XP12, which they didn't have to worry about ice in. So, maybe one of the versions will come out with it. Not holding my breath. Left and right engine bleeds are on. APU bleed off. Packs on. And APU off. Okay, make sure gens are on. Yep. Okay, we are ready to go. Okay, before taxi checks, auto brakes are right here, RTO. And your taxi lights, altimeters. Let's get those set because we have not yet. Current altimeter 2989er. Okay, we're not at the point where it would tell you altimeter disagree or something to that effect. Still got to set this one. But there is a click spot here where this arrow is, this set screw. Click it, it will set your altimeter on this side. Okay, we're going to go ahead. First officers on, gens off. And stape trim. This is one thing I don't like about Boeing and love about Airbus. Airbus puts it right on your ECAM. Here you got to kind of guesstimate. And hope it's right. Well, if not, adjust. But it's just nice that Airbus puts it literally right when you pull up your control surfaces, bam, trims right in the middle, set it to the number. All right, and we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to now do a flight control check. All right, you're set and ready to go with that. And EFIS. Okay, we got 200 set. Radar mode 2, weather. We're not going to turn it on just yet. And I'm going to set it up to 5. And flight controls, parking brake, here we go. I think this airport gets me always turned around. I was trying to go through my mind here. Am I going the right way? But yeah, I am. Hang on a second here, folks. Are having a little trouble here. Let me get me unghosted. Oh my gosh. The heck? Second. Oh, I'm having so much fun with POSCON today. All right. Phew. Oh, that's what it was. Hang on a second. All right. Okay. One other thing. Sure, we set. Okay. Here's what was going wrong. I didn't have my radios set up. Okay. Oh, got me again. All right. Billings traffic, FedEx 811 heavy, 28 right, departing. Okay, let me just make sure before takeoff. Flaps are 5, verifying. Yes. Wait, no. Now they're at 5. State trim set EFIS radar. We can now turn the radars on. So we'll go weather this side, terrain that side. Okay, we're ready to go, folks. Brakes off. Strobe lights on. Go. Yeah, that's one of the things with Flight Factor. You got to be careful. Actually, with any, is that your radio microphones and speakers are set up. Because if they're not, that's what you get. You won't be able to transmit. Oh well. Y'all ready to go fly? know I am. It's been a long ground time again. Let's go to 50. What I do is set it right there where you see the needle. That way I know by a quick glance they're both wound up. And then there's a click spot for toga right there if you turn the auto throttle on. There's toga. Knots. Air speeds are alive. There's V1. Rotate. Positive rate gears coming up. There's 4. Okay. Go to flaps 1. Staying away from the high terrain as much as possible. Oh, I didn't show off the reason for the yaw dampers being off. What happens, folks, with this plane, those of you with older flight sims like FSX and before, you know sometimes when the yaw dampers were on, your rudder would flip to one side or the other until airborne. Same thing here. It happens, and by keeping it off until takeoff, you're good to go. It doesn't affect your taxi, it just flips the rudder, and that way you can't do the test either. So when you do your control test, by the way, make sure either flight sim or real you do that, because gust locks really stink when you try to take off. Alright, there's 10,000. That means the lights come off. Keep the rest on though, just the landing and taxi lights. And we're on our way, folks. Okay, final checks here. Takeoff, okay. Flaps are up. Flap gauge is right here. Your auto brakes are back to off. Automatically gears up and off. All lights out, and we are on the way, folks. I hope you enjoyed. We've got about a 2-hour flight ahead of us. Let me head into here and check that. Yep, let me get that turned on. I turned it off just so, there we go. So we got about 2 hours, what is that, 2 hours, 30 minutes? Yeah, 2 hours and 30 minutes, but as we climb, folks, it'll get better and better. And again, Hawker, welcome in. Nice having you aboard. Not sure you're kind of not accustomed to these things anymore since I haven't seen you fly into sim in a while. But welcome in. Glad to have you here. Okay, you saw the message, insufficient fuel. Let's take a look. I'm just going to look right here. Are you? There you go. Okay, so right now, until we get up into the winds, folks, it's going to be showing us a little short. That happens, believe it or not, when you fly from places like Hong Kong to the United States. Don't be surprised until you get to cruise, you see insufficient funds, insufficient fuel, because the winds aren't helping you out yet. Once you get to where those winds are to help you, then you'll watch that fuel come back up. So I'll be curious in 30 miles if we're going to just how it's going to react, because we do get a tailwind on this. Right now we're into the wind, but our overall average was 255 when the flight plan was generated, which is about a 26 knot. Wait a minute, yeah, head or tailwind, positive tailwind. So we'll kind of watch. It's actually gone down a little bit more while we're in this headwind. The higher we get, are you noticing this, folks? It's green. Second. Oh, that's why. We just broke out of the clouds. Wow, there we go. -3. How did we get to -3? And let me see here. I'm going to look at my flight plan charts. Straight to them? I didn't know that. Huh. Sweet. Yeah, till... Here is when the winds will begin to shift for us. So, what to do. I don't know why we're getting this all the time. I think needs to change. All right, so we're on our way, folks. I hope you enjoy the ride. Any questions, comments? Love to have them in the chat room. And we'll just kind of press on. Not sure why it's doing on the radar. Not really sure. Interesting. Not really sure why it's doing that green. All right, folks. Oh, man. Oh, we're reaching top of the line. How about that? Thought that's what we saw out there. Nice little Sunday stroll over to O'Hare. Right, no. I have to look from down here. I'm pretty sure they're on. Let's just find it. Yep, they're off. They're just weird. They don't, it's just a weird way they're set that it's hard sometimes to tell. All right, so 2 hours actually has reduced down to, well, an hour and 54 minutes, so we've lost 30 minutes. And now we're starting to get into the better favor, a little bit favorable. Hope we start getting into these tailwinds here soon. All right, folks, we'll sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. Welcome aboard Flying with Mike. We want to thank you for being aboard for FedEx Flight Ops today, flying from Billings, Montana over to O'Hare. It's not a normal scheduled flight with FedEx, so I'm doing kind of a charter ferry flight with FedEx Express Virtual. If you are interested in a FedEx VA, they're actually a pretty good one. I've been with them for better part of 5, 6, 7 years. Can't say from the beginning, but not far from it. And I've just enjoyed it all. They've got a really good staff there, really good, simple, managed rules. ACAR system, I just flat out love their system. And when I had a VA many years ago, I wish I had this kind of an ACARS, FS ACARS, instead of how he's modified it to be one step, maybe a couple steps better. So just love flying for them. Check them out. Always check before you join, folks, because some of these VAs out there, ooh, if you're not careful, you're going to end into something you got to fly with your P's and Q's, all set right, your I's and T's dotted and crossed right. So be careful, because some of them I belong to a couple of them, and they're fun. Don't get me wrong for me, but some pilots, they may overwhelm you, how realistic they are. This one, good bunch of people, great Discord channel, great flight routes, pretty accurate. I mean, I've come across where what they're putting in there isn't really there, but you know what? I still enjoy it. So check them out, folks. But anyway, also this 767 U.S. Airways, another airline to check out there, but we're not flying for them today, and so we'll leave the spotlight on FedEx Express. So, what's new with all of you? Well, since we have time, I'm going to go ahead and open up. Folks, I normally don't, but I'm going to go ahead and bring Discord up. As long as we, as long as you keep the language in check and realize this isn't the bar room here, we'll be okay. Otherwise, I'll mute it off and won't hear it. Uh-oh. What the heck was that? Did I move maps? Huh. Don't know what that was. Yeah, as long as we keep it clean and enjoyable for all in the audiences. Making new music, Mr. Hawker says. Awesome. So, awesome to hear. A little different view than out the cockpit. What's it look like from the tail? think it's been a bit since I've flown this plane, especially in FedEx colors, but I think I took an update here on it, and I think I'm getting kind of seeing this text coming up. And this radar. It's very strange. Okay, so we're looking for, oh no, we haven't come up to pier yet. Okay. Still got about 200 miles, alrighty. 240 to be exact. All right, folks, I'm going to step into the galley here for a second, get a little bit of grub, and I'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back with you. Sorry about that. All right, Mr. Hawker, thank you. Appreciate you lurking there. And got about a good hour and a half till we get over there, so it should be a fun approach. I hope y'all have had a great start, or looking forward to a great start in your week. It is Sunday, week after Easter. And that, by the way, is what I was just having as a little lunch slash snack, Easter eggs that we make, hard-boiled eggs. So, got about an hour. That's hard for me to read that sometimes. Let me just an hour and 30 minutes, folks. Enjoy the music. I'll be right here. Feel free to chat away in the chat room. And hope you all have a great Sunday, and hopefully this week goes well for you. Halfway to O'Hare. It's getting a little loud. Not really sure why. Try that up. Guess there's just no way to make that sound set much quieter. There we go. Hope you're having a great day. I think we're kind of in a lull here waiting on storms. I'm not 100% sure here in St. Louis. Oh yeah, much better on the east. It is still the weekend for a bit. And then it's back to the rat race. Ugh. It's a shame they can't put any cats in that rat race so the rat race doesn't happen. But anyway, then it'd be called a cat race, I guess. But anyway, welcome in one and all. Just a little quick snippet about me. I do possess a private pilot's license, however, not current. Need a biennial and physical. Once I have those successfully done, I'll be back current again. I've been flying the sim for a better part of 25 years or so. Trying to apply for a VA yesterday, got really humbled and realized just how many hours I've actually put into flight simming in those 25 years, especially with VATSIM. Today we're on POSCON, so but quite a few hours here on the sim. Started with FS98 or 2000. I never can remember which one I actually started with, and progressed up since through all of them. 2002, the best one of Microsoft's inventory, 2000 for a century of flight, and one of the not so great, although it took time, but FSX. Once I got a better computer, it seemed to be not a bad sim. Did not jump to prepared during that long lull, and instead just kept plugging away with FSX, enjoying it since I had a decent computer to run it then. And however, I screwed up in the setup of the computer, and over time it just simply completely ran out of memory, not start. So I had to buy a new computer. A lot of pushing and prodding from Hawker to try X-Plane. I did. Back to Microsoft. Sorry. And he pushed me into streaming, and I've actually enjoyed that too. So, thank when he decides to unlurk our moderator, Hawker 125. And yes, Int'l, yes. No estimate on when I plan to get current again on my flight license, my private license. Mainly because, folks, it's about with an instructor, and I'm just ballparking $100 an hour. Once afterwards, I may get it down to 50 to 75, but the way I figured it, it's going to cost me a good amount of money to get myself current. When you've flown back in the 80s and I've gotten a taste of what the airspace has done since then, I need ground school again, so I'll have to go through that too, probably. Just to get myself real. So, but yeah, we're on POSCON, the alternate to VATSIM. Yes, there's not much activity a lot of times on it, which to some people is a good thing, especially when you're going into Chicago. The mayhem that can ensue there with VATSIM is undeniably not fun. Although some people say it is. 45-minute delays on the ground is never a fun time. If I wanted to do this for real, I would have got recurrent and became a real pilot. Then I could incur delays but get paid for it. Sorry, real pilots. But no, today's airspace is pretty much that way, especially if you're headed to Florida. But I'm sure it's not the only place in the country. So I enjoy POSCON just so that I can fly, enjoy, and hey, you guys are welcome. POSCON's a really easy to navigate. It just sometimes just grinding at you. Won't it give me my transponder code? But, you know, it did, we are, and we're flying. So, and then, you know, there's a lot of times, even when I do run into a controller, I kind of like this over VATSIM. The only thing with VATSIM is that's where everybody mostly is. It's either there or so. Right, time to cheat. To your future, folks, as a guy I work with loves to say, the Pilot's Edge, that's what I was trying to think. Even though you got to pay for that one. I don't like thinking about paying for ATC service. And folks, what you see out the window on your screen is pretty much what it will look like all the way to O'Hare. Even if you went down to St. Louis, it might look the same, because it's cloudy here too. That's what I'm looking at. Second, I just want to take a peek at the radar. Oh, we do have thunderstorms getting ready. Okay. Alright, yeah, I was told by another person it's supposed to get rain today. I thought she was going to be lying to me. She was wrong. I was wrong. Not she, I. Alright, folks, on the screen you see the flight factor 767 if you're interested in getting it. All you got to do to get the link, click the exclamation mark 767. That'll take you over to it. I have the professional extended upgrade. If you just get what I'll call the El Cheapo, get just basically the passenger version of the 3. I even think you get the 2. I haven't, it's been a long time since I had to go look to buy it. I upgraded so I could have the freighter version, and the 200, because I actually do like the 200. So, while it's not animated as much as TOLUS or anything like that, it is a good aircraft, good representation of a 767. I think you'd really enjoy it. Again, it's what you would like. Do you want just passenger? Hey, that's great. But look at it, figure out which one you want. There are I think it's 3 versions. I got the middle one, the extended, and I think there's an ultimate or something like that. I'll be honest, I don't know yet with that. And we're also flying for FedEx Express Virtual today. So, if you're in and want to fly cargo at FedEx, obviously is one of the biggest cargo carriers out there. Yeah, call it that. Freight carriers. Check them out. Also, exclamation mark FedEx will get you that link. Give them a look, see what you think, before you sign on the dotted line, to make sure they're not, you're able to accomplish what they want. And it's really not a lot. Big thing is, can you fly, can you land without tearing up? Pretty simple. And yeah, before you say, well, you can tear up light sims, it doesn't hurt. Yeah, but they really do still like to see it's not at negative 50 million on landings. Because I know some people do out there. Crashes, basically. They'd like you to be able to enjoy the sim. Alright, so just keep flying on, folks. Downside here is we do not have ACARs built into the plane like we do Zebo, TOLUS, and a lot of payware. Just go here and you can be able to pull it So, yeah, we do. So, we just kind of fly on, see how our roads have helped us. If you notice, we're starting to come up on the winds. A little bit. Well, here comes fire too, so I think it's me. Let's find out. I've been saying I think. Here, South Dakota. South Dakota. Alright, getting my map resized here. So getting weather is a little more challenging when you can't just go to the FMC and pull it up. So, but you know, I always have something helping me out here. Besides looking at, yeah, well, that's what we're gonna do, is look at real world. Yeah, I guess we could go that route. Hang on a second, size it again. Okay, could go this route. I meant to go to Sim Toolkit. But yeah, we could use this as a great tool. Okay, well, we don't have to worry anymore about Billings, so let's worry about O'Hare. Let's click in the D-ATIS and see what's lurking ahead. 39 minutes ago, the ATIS information being pushed out. Winds 120 knots. Welcome to the Windy City, as they call it, Chicago. 10 miles visibility, light rain, broken at 6,000. Right there, we're legal for any approach we're flying in. Way above minimums. We also have an overcast layer at 7,500. However, the ceiling is this number right here, 6,000 feet above ground level. Oh, and I meant to tell you about that out at Billings. Great place to teach it. A lot of people think MSL, they see this, and it's not. Billings is 3,600 feet above sea level. It's mountains, folks. You're out in the west of the United States, Rocky Mountains, whatever they call them up in Montana. And anyway, sorry about that. Didn't get a lot of good sleep last night here at the house. But anyway, so when you're at 36,000, oh, that would be rough trying to breathe. 3,600 feet above sea level. If you had a METAR, which we did, folks, say 3,600 overcast. That means the cloud deck would be on the ground. So the METARs are made in above ground level. Alright, so after that, folks, so we've got the part where we're arrivals. Expect vectors to 9 left and ILS perm runway 10 center. ILS perm Y 10 right. Don't know what PRM stands for. I'll be totally honest for you folks. I'm a private pilot. Flying in the clouds when you're really supposed to. And the center, I'm thinking center line for runway 10 right localizer is offset 2.5 degrees. Simultaneous approaches are in use, which, when you know how busy O'Hare is, like number 1 in the world, guess what? That's a duh. Yeah, you're gonna have aircraft. Used to be, when I flew in there, good Lord, early 2000s, 3 runways in use, either for takeoff or landing. Now, they may still do that today, but it's, you know, you'd have some going east-west, some kind of going northwest-southeast. I mean, it was unbelievable, the amount of traffic. Well, folks, all you got to do, pull up the ground chart. And if you in charts, you have NavGraph charts, go to O'Hare, pull up the parking chart, and figure all those are full most of the time during the day. That's a lot of aircraft, folks. So it is a very, very, very busy airport. Busier at some times than maybe at others, but overall it is just outright always busy. So yeah, to expect simultaneous approaches, I would. In the real world, yes. In the world of the flight sim, no. Maybe. You could have a good event going on and there could be an occasional simultaneous. All right, and looking through here, if we get further down towards the bottom here, I'm going to scroll it up. Wind shear advisories are in effect, so be ready. Your wind shear alert could go off in the plane. This one doesn't have it. Tolless Airbuses do. Not sure about Zebo. I think it does. All runways. I love this. We got to remember this where I work. Condition codes 555 at 1448, which is about 5 hours ago, I think. Maybe 6. So what the heck does that mean? Well, it means usually you also add to it what made it a 5. Wet. It's raining, folks. It said so up here. Light rain. So, in the winter time, which technically, you know, I mean, we're really transitioning right now. Those numbers could be 3, 4, 2, 1, you know, all over the place. If you get a 1, that's when things get really slickered snot. And called braking action nil for no brakes. It means go find another airport because you're probably not going to get stopped here. But you know, operations goes out, does the bow-monking, which then, or when it gets wet, they make it wet, you know, in the NOTAMs. So, and that's what these ATISs are for. They're to tell the pilot what to expect at this airport. So you're expecting this weather. This is what you expect on arrival. This is what you expect on departure. And then this is what the surface conditions are like. So, the goal is to not have another midway incident occur where Southwest ran off the end of the runway because of a very slick runway and a lot of other factors we're not going to get into, but unfortunately a small child was killed when the plane entered the intersection after the runway. Bad crash. mishap, whatever you want to call it. So that's where all of these condition codes started evolving out of. A couple of others occurred elsewhere. That one was kind of like the impetus. That was the one. How do we prevent that from ever occurring again? I know some would say something about Southwest, but it's not the only airline, folks, that does these. That could have happened to any of them. So there's one way to get our weather without the ability to pull it up on our FMCs. Of course, the other, pull up Sky Vector and see what it is, going on. And it looks like we got about an hour to go. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and bring that back in. And let's go ahead and talk about the arrival, shall we? Since we know the weather now. Okay, so as you can tell here, we're going to fly the Flight 7 arrival to the ILS 10 Charlie. Real quick, get our bearings squared away here at O'Hare. For those who know of the airport but never been to it, there you have it. Big airport. Now, look at all these terminals. You see why it's so busy? Plus your cargo's here, FedEx here. I'm sorry, FedEx here. That's de-icing, sorry. And more cargo here. Most of UPS has moved out to Rockford, except for a handful of things. It's kind of like the California. Ontario has UPS pretty well hubbed there. FedEx has a pretty big base of operations where their turboprops are, but yet they still have a presence, foothold on LAX. So Rockford is the same thing here. UPS has moved a lot of it out there, but yet they keep a little bit here just to help speed things along. So there you go, folks. You can see why it's a pretty busy airport in the real world. In VATSIM as well, because everyone loves to go to the big busy places. Heathrow, Paris, Frankfurt, Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong, LA, San Francisco, name those kind of airports, okay? So we're planning 10 Charlie. Here it is. Interesting. The lasso is right here. I'm kind of shocked, but anyway. So we're going to be landing on a 10,800 foot runway. 093's final approach course. We already see all of that. And if we do everything right, hope to get off at Fox. Fox. Taxi down Papa to triple S or double S, crossover into FedEx. Okay. That's our goal on the ground. How do we get to the ground from where we are? Flight 7? All right. For those who were not here to see this in the beginning, when we were setting up the FMC to get going, let's just go through it real quick. Revisit time for those that weren't here then. We're flying the Flight 7 RNAV arrival. It is available for all runways. We will show where we've deviated from this per the chart. So our D-ATIS 135.8 force, or 135.4. Okay. That's when we get in close, we can tune it in there. The D means it's digital, which means you can pull it up on the internet like we did. Airport 680 feet. We've got that already set. Airport altitude settings are in inches of mercury, not HEPA. And the transition level, of course, like anything in North America, for the most part, 18,000 feet. Okay, radar, RNAV, you see it all here. Landing east, expect vectors back to the final approach course after Maddie. So if you're landing east, expect vectors at Maddie. Don't read ahead yet, not yet. Here's how you get to Sulu. Fight on a 103 heading, motor on a still 103, cogs on a track of 129 to Maddie. Then on to Sulu and the rest of Star Trek. If you were about to have the same fun, so just to let you know, folks. Okay, so we're continuing on. We're about to get to Sioux City here on the nav display. We'll continue on to Mason City, the J16, and then into TEEOO. TEEOO. Okay, so from TEEOO, excuse me, the eggs are deciding they want to bite back. We're going to go to MIDI, to Beehawk. No, there's no rhyme or reason here now, folks, really. To Stanley, to Cup, to Champion, of course that can always be debated, to CLSB, by, close by, I don't know, close by, maybe, anyway, that could refer to the three fixes prior, but anyway, fight, motor, and Cox, as we saw over here, to Maddie. Then we go into another Sulu Kirk Vulcan. Yeah, kind of fun to see how they set some of these up. And if you're not familiar, folks, with Chicago hockey, Blackhawk, Stanley Cup champion. Yeah. Hey, whoever, you know, obviously the guy was a St. Louis Blues fan that set this up, so all right, so again, zoom in on it. This little box says it all. We are to expect vectors to final approach course after Maddie. So from Maddie, which is right here, anywhere along here to him go, we should be getting vectors. We are going to vector immediately at Maddie. So we don't fly all the way out, come all the way back to go all the way back. The real guys would. And they have to because the controllers tell them. All right. So from Maddie, we're going to drop down to, now I'm probably going to take a slightly different heading. It is set up to go straight to Aruda. Okay. We're going to probably aim for like Peepaw or Sharon, just so we have a little bit more wiggle room to get fully established into the ILS, so we get the speeds and all correct to come in for landing on it. But right now it would be direct Ruda from Maddie. Speaking of Ruda, this will be the ILS for runway 10 Charlie. Again, D8us, and here's all of our frequencies. Speaking of which, hang on a second, I was remiss. Had it set for Fat Sim. All right, and I am going to check real quick what our frequency we're going to be looking for here. CTAF for O'Hare, 120.75. Okay, so we're right now on, you guys with VATSIM know 122.8's the Unicom. Well, when I flip the switch, we'll then be on 120.75, the CTAF channel, Common Traffic Advisory Frequency for O'Hare per POSCON's flight plan information. Okay, which, by the way, is this number right there in the tower. And we got two lines here. Okay, so now the third line here is what we're going to concern ourselves with right now. 108.95 will be the ILS. Okay, and it'll be a heading of 0903. There we go. This is your ILS radio. This is comms. Well, you can't see this with it on. I'll show it to you in a second. Okay, Ray is the next fixed after Aruda, which is 10 miles out. Ray is approximately 5 miles out. Okay, we need to be at 2,300 feet on the glide slope descending into the airport. That's why I want to make sure we get the airplane stable on that localizer before that point so we can descend properly. Decision altitude is what's in bold, and that is MSL. Otherwise, you could look at it another way, ASL, above sea level, mean sea level. So the point of reference to where zero is sea level. Not river level, not anything but where sea level is. The brackets are decision height or height above the ground. Remember, your METARs work off that. So, 200 feet above the ground. Next to it is your airport elevations and runway touchdown. Think there's a slope. Missed approach gives you what you need to do there. Okay, from Gibbons, RNAV1 GPS required. Gibbons is all the way out here. That's 20 miles to Barry, 25 miles from the runway. So we're talking nearly 45 miles out. Reminiscent of what you see in LAX when you get on those long runs to the runways. Yeah, very reminiscent, except here you got to turn slightly. Okay, simultaneous approaches are authorized. Your visual glide slope versus ILS glide path may not look the same when you start watching. And we're going to be coming in at or around 4,000 feet. And then we'll descend to Ray and then come down the glide slope. Think about 2 minutes, 15 seconds is what we're going to get for our missed approach time. I think we're going to be about 150, we'll see. And ALSIF 2 and PAPI's on the left. Finally, there's our minimums again. By the way, folks, if the ceiling here is below 200 feet, if that OVC or BKN says 002, we're good for this chart. But if it says 001 with an RVR attached to it, we may have to select Cat 2, 3 to be able to legally come in, meaning we go into an auto land setup. Believe it or not, the pilots do not fly those unless the auto, and I don't know the airline requirements, FAA requirements for the pilot to be able to fly it. I'm thinking they're going to another airport, but I am just looking at it wrong. I'm sure. But anyway, we can accept an 18 on the RVR or a half-mile visibility and 200 feet. As long as these two are at or above, we're good to come in. All right, so there you have it, folks, chart-wise. All right, so we were talking about this radio here. This is for your ILS. I've got it set 108.95. Just double checking. 108.95.093. Okay, so our ILS is set. Now, that is not the same as this radio or this radio. These are actually VOR radios that are used elsewhere. So don't get the two mixed up. And then finally, let's worry about some speeds. Told you Top Cat was going to be used again. Here it is. We are on takeoff. Landing to a wet runway. Update. Oh, looks like it may have just updated. Hang on. Double check. Sure did. Okay, so the weather you're seeing here, folks, is the most current. 110 at 10, 8 degrees, 1012 for the, or 2988 for the altimeter, wet runway. We're going to come in flaps 30 with the packs on to runway 10 Charlie. Anti-ice on. Now, I set it to auto land just in case, but you never know. One, the ceilings could drop on us. Shouldn't, but it could. The winds are beginning to shift around to our tail, so we'll start. And I'm going to plan auto brakes 3. Let's see what we get. Hit compute. Again, same thing. If you have items out, you can edit here, distance reduced, put it here, and it will factor that in. Okay, the reference speed, the landing speed's 137 today, 142. Probably bring it in about 145, and we'll need 7,000 feet. So, leaving us 3,700 feet at the end. All right, so that's all good numbers. 142 for approach. So a quick look at our chart, and I'm not going to bring it up just so you're aware. I am just going to move Top Cat out. I'm just going to look real quick. 2 minutes 9 seconds. So when we cross Ray, I start the clock. 2 minutes 9 seconds. If we don't see the runway environment, we go around. And we'll have to go around because we'll have to switch to auto land. All right, so there you have it, folks. Our approach brief to include speeds. Let's see how we're looking distance-wise to top of descent. We still got a little ways to go. Well over 150 miles, so. So I hope that was informative, and I haven't seen much in the chat. Yeah, I haven't seen much at all or heard a tone go off, so. All right, so let's bring it in, folks. As we are on the... what did you miss? Oh, man, you missed, man. gave away $1 million, and since you weren't here, you couldn't get it. Caught me in a fib. Yes, you did. All right, folks, we are, just about 40, we'll call it 45 minutes out. Like I said, kind of a flat sky out there. It's pretty much been that way since we left. Is that on? Huh. Oh, I hate when it does that. Oh, it's the fuel. Okay. Gosh, what is that sticking out over there? Well, we're just not getting those favorable winds, but we're able to make it to Detroit still, but whew. That happens every now and then, folks, where the winds just don't pan out like they're forecasted. And as you can tell, I opted not to step climb. I just don't think we would have really seen any boost out of it, so. All right, folks, I am trying something a little different here for the ads. So that's why they seem to run a little longer. Trying to figure out if I like it or not. I'm thinking I don't. But they don't come in as often. Oh, just sitting back munching on some peanuts here. Let me find out. Hopefully it's coming through a little better for you, Hawker, because it sounds pretty good on my end, listening to it on my laptop. And to you all out there as well. because looking at all my numbers here coming in on the stream, everything appears to be doing pretty good today. Not to say good old Spectrum is worth anything. All right, good to know. Good to know. Thanks. All right, let's see. Top of descent, 121 miles out. We'll start getting into our descent checklist checks here shortly, about 80 miles out. So we got about a few more miles to go. So again, hope y'all enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, love for you to smash that follow button. That way you'll get an email letting you know when we go live. Also, one thing to you all out there. If you missed anything, don't go away saying, oh, I missed that. I really wanted to know. Check us out on... Did I spell it wrong? Why did it not populate? There it goes. Oh, that's Discord. Yeah, that I have been told. There we go. You won't miss a thing because it's over on YouTube later today. That way you can see what you missed. Because basically all I do is just take the stream and upload it to YouTube. So, but yeah, we would love for you to smash follow here. And if you are by chance watching one of those restreamed on, well, not restreamed, but just rebroadcasted over YouTube, hey, if you would smash that subscribe button, we'd love for you to join the family. And by hitting that notifications there, you would know when a new video is uploaded, which is usually after every stream. All right, folks, we got about 30 minutes till we're on the ground in O'Hare. Now's a good time. Get that popcorn and all, because you never know what'll happen when we get there. I, on the other hand, am going to get another round of peanuts and be ready for the arrival. All right, folks, here we go. Let's start getting set up for descent.
They talk about another kind of work.
What are you afraid of?
All right, so we need to make sure the frequency and course is in, which we have. On the, which match, I should say, 108.95.
I'm not afraid.
108.95, 93 degrees. Perfect. And then verify VREF one more time. Let's bring Top Cat in, verify. VREF, look at that, matches 137 by 142. Recompute, and yeah, 137. So we'll it. And finally, DH is set, auto brakes. And everything is set. All right, so currently 69 miles out. Give it a little bit further before we start down. Again, hope y'all have enjoyed. We'll be on the ground here shortly. We'll be starting our descent here in the next 5-10 minutes, if not sooner. You can see it on the chart right here. Oh, and my nose. Springtime is a rough time, folks. We've been, let's see, how long have we been here? Pushed back 1 hour, 50 minutes ago. Well, actually, we didn't push back, we pulled forward. We, powered out. We didn't have to need a pushback. All right, so altitudes. I'm just going to go ahead and look at the chart and work with it from there. Black Hawk is no lower than 21,000, so we'll set that. Yep, that thunderstorm line is just, well, no, it's still got a little bit of time to get to us. Not much. But it's on the move. All right, as we are now 20 minutes out, and we're probably looking at top of this, hitting that point. In the next, like I said, 5 minutes or so. And then we'll plan for 10 Charlie, 10 center. All right, we should be just about 20 miles out. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into the center here. I'm going to show you a couple ways you can initiate your top of descent with the Flight Factor 767. May apply to others. This is one of two ways. You could simply, well, you can't click it. Some of the 767s out there, you can click the altitude and she'll start down. What I do is go to descent and click descend. Go figure, descend now. I'm set for it to stop at 21,000. Down we go. Now the reason it's asking for drag, it wants us to slow, I believe, to 290. Yeah, 293. It's going to take a couple seconds. It'll do it on its own. Actually, it's going to slow us a little bit more. I think it's going to go for 0.77. Now, on this aircraft, folks, notice how you can set your transition level here. In other Boeing type aircraft with FMCs, you would have seen forecast here. Click there. Up in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see transition level. Set your level there. In the US, it's pretty simple. If you set it for takeoff, it's the same for landing unless you're going abroad. Not too abroad, but abroad. Say to Europe, South America, you may run into different transition levels. US, you will not. North America, you will not. For the most, I think there might be one or two in Mexico. You get over in Europe and those other places, folks, at different airports. You could take off from, say, Frankfurt or Munich. And guess what? The transition levels are different. So you got to really pay attention to your ATIS and METARs. Mostly ATIS, because that's where that's usually found. So, but to change it, you would have gone here or in this aircraft right here. It is so much fun in those countries, learning. Well, we're going to be doing some of that next week. So we got a flight planned from Budapest to Frankfurt, speaking of which. Just check below, you'll see the schedule. Or over on our Discord channel, folks. We've got it always up there. Try to keep it up to date for the week. And we try to stick to it, but there are times where you know how weeks can go, folks. You're just unable to, but we do our best still to get it done. So, hoping this week isn't the same, but like I said, it may just very well be. All right. We are descending in. I am going to move us into a sterile cockpit with that song so it doesn't get going too much. And then I forget and the next one kicks. Let's check our fuel. 13.3. Yeah, we can still make it, but oh, would we be on? Wouldn't be allowed to do a flyby of the tower. All right, I made mention of this on every Airbus trip that we've done so far. Let me show you what I was talking about. Now, Airbus, you'd have a green dot about right here. You'd see your altitude and all. That's where you want your climb to be. That's where the computers on the plane, the avionics, are saying that's how you manage your descent. You could set it all the way in, but I like to hold it up just in case we reach 21 and it keeps going. Boeing, on the other end, now this one does not have it. Sometimes shows it on the glide slope. Always shows it right here. That's that same thing as that green ball on Airbus. This is how Boeing delineates it. That shows us right on the predicted glide path to make 21,000 feet by B-Hawk. Then after that, we'll drop down to 17. Our ultimate goal, actually, we don't really have an altitude after. Oh, yeah, we do. Fight at 11,000. Theoretically, though, it should level you off at 21,000 feet till you pass that point. Then it would stair-step you down to the next, but this is how you make sure it will. And I'm here to tell you it's not, because this is where 21,000 feet will be met. So, Stanley, which is 17 miles after B-Hawk, is 21,000 to 17,000 and a speed of 280 knots. So, bet you can guess what's about to happen. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and set 17. And if you're starting to think you're going to be high or low, there is nothing wrong with taking over VS and flattening it or steepening your descent. Remember, this is telling you the predicted point where you're going to cross this altitude here. Okay. Just making sure my cursor was showing up. Okay, so we crossed Ehawk, 23,000 feet, which is within the 26 to 21,000. Now, to take over speed, if you're not seeing it slowing, because remember, I told you we have to be at, not above, not below, 280 knots. So we'll kind of watch it, see if it will do it for us, and we can actually check it. Legs. Stanley, it should set 280, and then at close by, where is it, 270, and then fight at 250. Now, once I know we're going to make Stanley, we'll kind of see how it's doing. I may set for 13,000. I may not. I am going to dial back a little. And I'm going to set my headings just in case. There we go. And our anti-ice is on. Here we go. Lights. And okay, so we are set. So we are going to make Stanley at 17. I'm waiting to see if it's going to set the speed dial. There it went. Okay, and close by looks like it's going to be pretty close to 13,000, so we're good. All right, so there you go, folks. We are in our descent. Okay, and our METAR says 286. And again, remember, this set screw will set the other side. Okay, and we're just about to close by, and we'll be within the parameters, and then we're going to look for 270 speed. All right, now we got to get down to 11,000. And then we begin to set ourselves up for the 4,000 foot at our Ruta. And fight will be 250. All right, again, hope you all enjoyed the ride into O'Hare here on POSCON, flying for FedEx Express virtual in the Flight Factor 767. It has been a pleasure. We are about to make the final turns to head for the localizer. If you're new to the channel or you haven't done so yet, feel free to smash that follow button. Love to have you aboard so you can follow along, see where we're headed, and when we go live, you get a message email letting you know we're live. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey, smash that subscribe button. That way you know when a new video is released and you can sit and watch it. But we really do appreciate y'all. Doesn't matter if you're on Twitch or YouTube. However, YouTubers, if you'd like to see live, you know, I try to stick to the times as best I can, but the Discord channel will fill you in on the day of. But join us. We'd love to meet and greet you. Currently, the Discord channel is open for voice. Can't guarantee much out of me as we're barreling in here on O'Hare. Crossing fight at 250. 11,000. I think at Maddie we'll begin our descent down to 4,000. Actually, maybe beforehand. I think around motor. If it was nighttime, folks, you'd see the hyperspace effect. Yeah, you're kind of seeing it a little bit here. So a lot of times what I do to get around that is go to this view. Okay, there's motor. Last check, it is 4,000, right? The 4,000, yep. I'm going to come down to, what's 6,000. Yeah, we'll maintain 240, although right now we're fast. All right, let's get up here. Whoop, too high. Okay, what did that? There we go. Oh, it did this again. All right. Yeah, it did this on a flight last week. I'm going to have to reset my presets on my visuals. Can't really do it now. All right. May have to turn the radar on. Getting really annoying. Yeah, it's really, wow. Okay, we'll have to do everything from here. Okay, cool. We'll get it. All right, so we're looking now for the localizer. I'm actually leveled off here, I think. All right, let me see where we're at. Okay, I'm going to actually begin a descent to 5,000 here. Ooh, in about 10 miles or so or less. Oh, now it's fixed. Huh. What causes that? All right, let's drop to 5,000 just. May even go down to 4. Get us on a good intercept. Slowing to 210. All right, localizer's alive at the altitude. And we're going to make our intercept. Okay, I'm going to go set for flaps 5. Radar off. That is really my mind away. It looks like we're right at the right glide slope, but I tend to not want to believe. See, it's moving now. Let's get flaps 10 in. Spoilers should be in. They are. Sarge saying there we go. Here's the localizer. Let's go ahead, put her 60. All right, so from here to Ray, I'm going to use that to help slow us down. And then during the descent down to Ray, we'll get the gear out. We'll get flaps set to full and to VREF. VREF, by the way, folks, is 136. We'll come in at 146, 145. And currently 10 miles out. Coming down with the gear. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and raise this up a little bit. Three green, brake set. To set the spoilers, folks, just click on the spoiler bar. We are descending. Okay, missed approach altitude is 4,000, which is set. We are out of the clouds, now looking for the runway. Remember, it's supposed to be visible 10-mile visibility. Yeah, you can stop laughing now. All right, so we're going to come up to Ray here in about 2 miles. Laps 25. Laps 30. Okay, we're crossing Ray. was too much. There's the runway ahead, folks. Not bad, 6-mile visibility. Plane's mine. It's a pretty wicked crosswind here, folks, so. Hopefully it won't look like that European airline that landed on the nose gear. We've never done that here, folks. At least once or twice. Maybe 3 or 4. I liked one of the YouTube captions on it. Go around? Question mark. Speaking of which, we're high on it. Okay, runway in sight, landing.
500.
Runway's clear, still landing. Adjusting for the PAPI. At this point, you can use power, folks, to help. Rudder for lateral.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And let's go into reverse. And welcome into O'Hare, folks. Coming up. Oh, why did it stop? Turned the auto brakes off. Again, hope y'all had a great Sunday here with Flying with Mike, enjoying a trip from Billings, Montana to Chicago O'Hare or FedEx. Again, if you're interested in it, exclamation mark the word FedEx will give you information on how to join the VA we're representing today. Hopefully that landing was pretty good. Felt it. Then it's kind of hard to feel it in a sim. Okay, landing lights off. Strobes off. Kick D. Flaps up. Spoils. basically we got to just back taxi all the way down. FedEx is this last set of building way down here, and we'll pull in. Here, let's go ahead and kill the radar, not the wabbit. Let's see how the wipers do. Not a bad job. Okay, right over there is what's called the South Central Cargo Ramp. And we're going to go second intersection ahead. So not this first one, but this one up here. That's where we'll make our turn for FedEx. But again, hope y'all enjoyed. We'll debrief this in a second, and you know, we could try a rewind and see how it looked. Just have to wait and see if the system will allow us. Route's clear, let's get across. Oh, coming from PMDG there, Mr. Rendon. Welcome aboard, by the way. I don't think, unless it's coming into X-plane, I don't foresee myself flying that plane. But Flight Factor has their 777 due to come out. They've been doing a lot of promoing it, so I don't know when, but it's getting close. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and take number 4 down here. All right, let's just get into blocks here, and then we'll work through the debrief. Brakes are set. Let's get those wipers parked. All right, lights are off. APU should be in the run. Go on the gen. Oop, it's on gen already. All right, real quick after landing. Checks, auto throttle left and right flight directors off. Flaps and spoilers are already retracted. APUs on. Taxi lights off. Flaps and transponder to standby. All right, folks, we're in the gates. So let's let me double check. Do I need AP lead on now? All right. 1, 2. All right, there goes the generator kicking in. Fuel controls, fuel pumps can go off. Minus. Go. Oh, and the beacon. Don't need the beacon. Go. Right, and we'll put the stuff out here. Chocks. PU. All right, folks, welcome to Chicago's FedEx parking area. I'm kind of shocked they don't call it some kind of a hub. A lot of spots here. And I remember I hauled a lot of freight out of here back in the 90s. So, let's take a look at this arrival, shall we? First off, let me unload this. And be on, delete. And we'll come back to it in just a moment. We'll be ready to brief when you guys come out of the break in about a minute. All right, to the subscribers, don't mean to leave you hanging there. Sorry about that. I'm just doing a couple of things with Sim Toolkit, getting the flight ended and all of that. Let me end it with ACARS. A little worse than I thought it was. Wow, I thought that was actually a pretty good landing. Let's see here. Huh. That sure didn't feel like that. Must have missed something in the translation. Hopefully in the next 13 seconds or so we'll have everybody back and be able to go here. So most people should be back. All right, welcome back everyone. Okay, just filed my flight with FedEx Express Virtual. They had us at 374 on the feet per minute. I'm even going to argue that. I thought it was gentler than that. Oh well, who am I, right? All right, and you can tell Sim Toolkit put us at 477, so, All right, so let's look at it real quick. We'll debrief and then get into it. All right, so you can see the routing. A little better than our run out of Boston in 00 departure. That was last week. All right, so 2 hours, 30 minutes in the air, 920 miles covered, and we burned 11,900 kilograms of fuel. According to Sim Toolkit, 1.5 Gs on that landing. I really would like to argue that we'll see 477 feet per minute at 126 knots. Huh, sure didn't feel like that when I touched, unless maybe I touched somewhere else and didn't know it. All right, let's get into the other metrics. Okay, we landed on a 10,800 foot runway, 1,500 feet down the runway. Folks, that is not bad at all. As you can tell, where most planes land is where all the black is. 13 feet off the center line, again, not bad. By the way, this is where we're parked. And then again, the metrics we already know. So I'm going to tell you, folks, at least visually it looks right, but I will argue the numbers. I think that just, oh man, I really thought that was a lot better than what it ended up. All right, let me get out of POSCON here real quick. Just checking a couple of things. Okay, according to this, we are offline. Okay, got to make sure, folks, when you're doing these things, you're offline. Otherwise, it's going to kick you offline. Or, in the case of POSCON, ghost you. And basically, it's because the controllers who are controlling don't want to go, United, go around, you got an aircraft going back and forth. You know, so they kick you off that way. You don't disturb traffic trying to get in. All right, so there you have it, folks. We're at O'Hare, and it is raining as forecasted. Although, it really looks like a blue sky above us, but it isn't. All right, so let's clean up the airplane here real quick. And go back to plane, to plane, to plane, to plane. Okay, let's see. And it's back. So the light strike. Not sure where we are. It's to the air. That's always the hard part, folks. Oh. Coming up to Ray, because the gear just went down. Oh no, we didn't. Okay, I know that's bothering me. Okay, I've got the run. Hawker 125 view. Yeah, okay, a little wing flex there. So yeah, not as, I really, from my point of view, thought it was pretty decent. All right, we'll get one more view of it, folks. See, right there, it looks beautiful. I'm going to look at it from the tower. Hopefully, get out here a little ways because it may take a little bit to find us. Hopefully another post will get in our right way. Not too bad, folks. Welcome to O'Hare, folks. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. Those were, I hate to say it, those were pretty good landings. Not recorded well, but you know what? Hey, we're in. We made a great run. It was a great day of flying. Otherwise, not so hot, but everything else, you know, it is what it is. So, I'm going to call it a good day of flying. Folks, I want to thank you for flying with Mike. Again, if you're new to the channel, just haven't done it yet, hey, I'd love you to smash that follow button. I'll let you know when we fly again. And folks, if you're interested in FedEx Express Virtual, hey, just type in !FedEx. It'll bring you to the site. Bring it up. You can click on it and get over and check it out. It's a really good site, really good working bunch of people, and I think you really would enjoy. Not many rules, but there are a couple. So, folks, from all of us here at Flying with Mike, thanks again, the Hawker, for the moderation. And folks, we hope you all have a great rest of the weekend, and hopefully your week goes better than last. For now, we'll say goodbye and see you with all intentions of being here Tuesday. God bless you all. We'll see you then. Dave Rendon, welcome aboard. Nice to see you again. Hope you have a great night as well. God bless everyone. We'll see you hopefully Tuesday. All right, folks, we're gonna head over. Guys on Twitch, we're gonna head over raid Megabit. Hope y'all have a great weekend.